When things get weird in comics, I usually ask, what universe is this? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, Amanda. Talk weird with me as we count down the top 10 Marvel Multiverses we can't believe exist. Again, on this part 2. What makes them weird? Good question. Stick around to find out. Number 10. Amalgam. The Amalgam universe is one of my all-time favorites when it comes to odd Marvel worlds. It exists as a bridge between both the Marvel Multiverse and the DC Multiverse. To this day, I still cannot believe Amalgam was allowed to happen. And it gives me hope that maybe one day we could see a live-action crossover film or TV series between the big two publishers of Marvel and DC. The Amalgam universe first appeared in a series of 12 one-shots that were all part of the DC Marvel crossover event. Right near the end, they all kind of came in. The Amalgam universe doesn't have one designated number, as both Marvel and DC have their own assigned numbers for this Earth. Also, the Amalgam universe only existed in print for 2 short years, from 1996 to 1997. Rest in peace. However, I still hope to one day see its return in print or on the big screen. Fingers crossed. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, and if you love the Marvel Multiverse, be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 9. Miles and Gwen married. I love this reality. It's one that might seem odd though when you think about what is actually able to happen here. In reality 8, 2 heroes from different worlds ended up in a relationship and they settled down and even got married. This reality is believed to be an alternate future of Earth 65, where Gwen hails from normally. Here, Miles and Gwen ended up getting married, settling down, and even having kids together. They are also both celebrities in this world thanks to their superhero status as both Spider-Man and Spider-Woman respectively. Their 2 kids also grow up to become superheroes, joining this Earth's multiversal superhero Spider-Verse team, the Amazing 8. The team includes the whole family, both Miles and Gwen and their children, Spider-Boy and Spider-Girl, as well as Spider-Ham, Spider, aka Penny Parker, an alternate version of Jerry Drew, son of Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, and an alternate Spider-Woman who is also an alternate Kraven, or possibly a member of the Kravinoff clan. Number 8. Earth X. This is an interesting one. Thank you to Zocker JHD for the suggestion on the part 1 in this series, and for reminding me of this amazing world. Earth X is a really dramatic world with some really beautiful artwork from Alex Ross. Earth X was created by both Ross and Jim Krueger. In this reality, everything ties back pretty much to the Celestials, Deviants, Eternals, superpowered humans, mutants, Inhumans, even Mephisto ties back to the Celestials here. Here, Mar-Vell ends up acquiring power through Kronos. This grants him cosmic awareness, which allows him to see the full extent to which the Elders of the Universe and the Celestials were involved in manipulating the entire cosmos. He allows himself to die so that he can enact a plan to stop the Elders. Eventually, Mar-Vell is granted the Enigma Force, even in death, and sets out to stop the meddling of the Celestials and the Elders, planning to free all those who have died by killing the Elder Death. Because yeah, Death is an Elder of the Universe here. Number 7. Mangaverse. There have actually been a few different universes that involve manga, and in fact a few different Marvel mangas that I myself have stumbled upon in bookshops. I really want to read the Deadpool manga if I'm being honest. But for this list we're focusing on Earth 2301, also known as the Mangaverse. The main one, that is. The Mangaverse first appeared in 2002 in Marvel Multiverse New Dawn issue number 1. Although I actually think there was an earlier version of it that did appear, but I think they kind of reset it and like changed the number a little bit. So yeah, it's been going on since the early 2000s though, which is quite some time. And also, what a time. I feel like that's when I started getting into manga, the early 2000s, so makes sense to me. Number 6. What if World War II was fought in outer space? A classic what if tale, one that imagines what if Sergeant Nick Fury fought World War II all the way up in space. And of course, instead of the fight being just against the Axis and Germany, the Howling Commandos in this issue are also taking on aliens. This alternate reality comes from the 1977 What If series in issue number 14. This is the first volume of What If. In issue number 14, the reality comes to be as the answer to the question, what if Sergeant Nick Fury had fought World War II in outer space? The aliens in question that they are also fighting here are known as the Baytans, who have joined forces with Baron Strucker. This issue seems to be inspired by a love of other prominent sci-fi properties of the time, including Battlestar Battlestar Galactica, and Star Wars, which are also both mentioned on the cover. Good way to get you to read the comic. They're like, do you like these things? You'll like this what if? Number 5. Marvel Anime. I don't know what's weirder, really. The Mangaverse of Marvel or the anime universe, which also exists. That's right, Marvel made anime versions of some of their most famous characters. The anime universe did not last long though, only having one season that was 12 episodes long, because yes, this is an actual anime I'm talking about. It ran from 2010 to 2011. Honestly, I kind of want to watch all of it after seeing only like a little part of the first episode. It is very anime, right down to the intro, and also some of this animation looks pretty good, I gotta say. The first episode is about Iron Man, whose origin is more in line with his MCU one than his comic book counterpart here. In this reality, Iron Man is basically looking to retire and is kind of looking into building armor suits that he could use to replace him. However, when the villain Scorpio appears on the scene, he is forced to take action as the hero, Iron Man. Number 4. Captain America married Iron Man. Or rather, I guess I should say Iron Woman? In this reality, Tony wasn't Tony, but instead was born Natasha Stark, being born a woman. Natasha would grow up to become the hero Iron Woman and would actually fall in love with Captain America, and eventually marry him. Because of the success of their romantic relationship, the first Civil War never happened in this reality. There was a superhero registration program, however, but no one argued over it, and it was actually started by this universe's Reed Richards. This Earth is known as Earth 3490 and is an alternate one that Mr. Fantastic glimpses while perusing various realities where the first Civil War had a different outcome. Number 3. Marvel Apes, also known as the Apeverse or the Monkeyverse. Mangaverse. In this reality, all the heroes and villains of Earth that you are used to seeing are all apes or monkeys. Also, heroes and villains actually die in this reality. In fact, if a villain is captured and brought to justice, they are demanded to reform, and if they actually choose to refuse that, they end up being beaten by heroes until they are, well, permanently defeated, let's just say. Also, the Captain America of this universe ended up being frozen in an iceberg and replaced by Baron Blood. So in this reality, the invaders were actually all transformed into vampires. Years later, Gorilla Captain America is thawed and must join the fight against the vampires of the world. It's got apes, it's got monkeys, it's got vampires, it's got everything. Captain America teams up with the Ape Avengers, and after defeating the vampire invaders, takes on the role of team leader. Number 2. Avengers Mech Strike. The Mech Strike universe is just an odd one because in this universe, all the Avengers operate with mechs. Oh, and they had to team up with Thanos in an effort to stop Kang. Oh, and in this reality, Kang wiped the floor with Thanos. When you think about it, all of these things are pretty weird occurrences. However, I will say I do like the look of the mechs in this universe. Truly, the designs here feel like something I want to own in a collectible form of some kind. I have some of the mech Lego sets from Marvel and Lego, and I feel like the Mech Strike reality in and of itself would make for a cool series of sets, or you know, maybe one giant set with all of the mechs in it. That would be pretty cool. The reason that the Avengers in this reality get mechs in the first place is because they figure out the best way to defeat Kang's biomechanoids is to suit up in their own vibranium mech suits that Iron Man dubs biomechanoid response units. Although I gotta be fair and also mention that T'Challa was actually the one to figure this out, so basically, good job Black Panther, you figured it out, vibranium, it's the way to defeat them. Number 1. Marvel. What a weird comic. In this story, we get to see what happens when you take a bunch of inside jokes and try to turn them into a cohesive story, or something? I think that's what is meant to be happening in this miniseries, but don't quote me. This miniseries is confusing, even for advanced comic book readers like myself who have read tons of comics at this point. In this comic, a lot of strange things happen, but it seems it's all done to make fun of the Marvel and DC universes, the whole superhero genre in general, and the distinguished competition, aka DC Comics. However, that doesn't mean that anything here makes sense. In fact, I can't make sense of almost any of it. This alternate reality takes place in the future in the year 5002 AD. Here the AOL company basically becomes powerful enough to lead the planet, I think. People can also seemingly karate chop meteors as they fall from the sky, and eventually we travel back in time to discover that Wolverine started off the whole human race after evolving from an otter. That's really what happens in it, I think. That's what I got. That's about it. Until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.